live from News 9 WAOW. This is News 9's Wake Up Wisconsin.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Inching our way closer to the weekend.
Yep.
And thanks for joining us here this morning on Wake Up Wisconsin. I'm Josh Gregory.
And I'm Nina Paholke. Let's take a look at our top stories.
Article 1 is adopted. Article 2 is adopted.
A historic vote. The House voting to impeach President Donald Trump. Coming up, we've got you covered on where the case goes from here and how local politicians are responding.
Plus, a Wisconsin man found dead, possibly of hypothermia or carbon monoxide poisoning. Warnings officials have for you after the tragedy. Straight ahead.
Plus, from snowmobiling to ice skating, winter sports are ramping up here in our area.
It's kind of our own little mini Rockefeller Center.
What will be open for you this weekend and what the weather's going to look like when you're out and about. Strong storms rolled through north central Wisconsin overnight, but it's the western part of the state that got hit hard. Overnight conditions there coming up.
Plus,
They didn't give that baby a chance to live the 3 years. She just turned 3.
more updates on that road rage shooting in Milwaukee that killed a 3-year-old. A grandmother opens up about the incident as other relatives grieve the loss.
Plus, new details in the 2 bodies found in a De Pere home. Neighbors speak out after the incident. Straight ahead.
Alerting Wausau, you're needed for a GSW of a suspect.
Breaking news in Wausau, a deadly officer-involved shooting on the west side. Now, a witness says he heard around 15 gunshots. Good morning, I'm Nina Paholke.
And I'm Josh Gregory. We'll get to a live report in just a bit, but right now, we want to take a look at some other stories that are making headlines today. After sub-zero cold, central Wisconsin is now bracing for several inches of snow. How much we could see tonight, straight ahead.
Plus, with that snow comes a fresh powder for snowmobile riders and more trails opening here in central Wisconsin. But that does come with a warning. Coming up, the changes and exceptions being made.
And Wisconsin farmers are thrilled about the new developments in foreign trade.
And I think there was a sense of optimism that we may have finally turned a corner.
How this change will help farmers, an expert explains next.
We're following breaking news this morning. Flames cover an area business. What we're learning coming up.
And a Wisconsin fire department rolls out a new piece of equipment that could save lives.
This would be a huge benefit to us and to the patient.
How the new emergency ventilator works and when it will be ready for use. The second time in 2 days, a police officer shoots an armed student inside a Wisconsin school.
So I look out the window, and then I saw the whole school running.
A student describing the distressing moments as we take a closer look into why the officers opened fire.
Plus, the impeachment inquiry takes a new turn this morning. The House Judiciary Committee to hold the first hearing in just hours. Coming up, what can be expected to be discussed.
And
I'm kind of out of breath right now. It's hard to walk through. None of the vehicles are able to get through.
Duluth residents trying to dig out all that snow buildup in the past few days, but it's been a challenge. What city officials are saying could be the reason for the trouble.
It was like a bomb. It was like a bomb went off.
Not a bomb, though, a lightning strike. What it does to a home in southern Wisconsin.
And that's not the only case.
It's kind of horrific to know that your house was hit by lightning.
Another house gone because of lightning. The damage those conditions caused in central Wisconsin coming up.
Plus, what Beloit police expect to see once recreational marijuana becomes legal in Illinois, and what that means for anyone who crosses the state line.
Right now, a breaking news alert from News 9 WAOW.
We're continuing to follow breaking news in Wausau this morning. One person killed in an officer-involved shooting on the west side. Today, we're expected to learn new details.
And according to police, there's no ongoing threat to the public. And this morning, News 9's Chase McNamara is live in Wausau with the very latest. Good morning, Chase. Breaking overnight, this large fire erupts right here in Wausau. Just take a look at the flames shooting out of multiple buildings here in town. This happened late last night. Neighbors on scene say the buildings are part of a cabinet maker business, Woodcraft Specialties. Officials on scene did confirm to News 9 that everybody was able to get out. No word yet on what sparked the flames or the cost of damage they will have. Be sure to stay tuned to News 9 for the very latest.
Right now, a Storm Track 9 weather alert from News 9 WAOW.
Our top story this morning, the wicked winter weather. As millions travel for Thanksgiving, Mother Nature dumps several inches of snow. Turn to your screen. This is a look at central Wisconsin overnight. You can see it coming down hard just outside the station on Grand Avenue here. It's almost like whiteout conditions. This was last night, just a few hours ago.
Well, you also saw a street light that was down in the road.
Other areas seeing even more snow. It's causing some dangerous travel conditions, so drive carefully. Good morning, I'm Josh Gregory.
And I'm Nina Paholke. Right now, we do have team coverage tracking the very latest. Both meteorologist Sam Kuffel and News 9's Chase McNamara are out braving the elements, and we'll check in with them in a little bit on a look outside.
First, we want to send it over to Chief Meteorologist Justin Lowe, who's in the Weather Center tracking the latest. Justin, how long can we expect to see some snowfall?
Well, it's going to continue through the morning hours, really not tapering off until about 11 o'clock or noon today for those areas, especially in the north, that have seen the most snow overnight. We can see here from our radar view that it's raining in the southern part of the area down toward Adams and Watoma and Wapaka. It's just been kind of a rainy, cool night. But the rest of the area is dealing with those treacherous conditions. You can see the rain-snow line right through the Mosinee and Wausau area and even getting close to the Antigo area where there is some heavy snow coming down. And the snow has been heaviest through the nighttime hours in the north. We've had some reports of over 6 inches of snow. It's very heavy, wet, cement-like snow sticking to the roadways. You can see with our Covantage Credit Union view downtown Wausau that the roads, they've had some traffic on them, but still looking snow-covered there with temperatures near the freezing mark in most areas. 31 in Medford, 32 in Stevens Point and in Mosinee. And the high temperature, it'll be this morning about 33, 34 degrees. It's going to turn quite windy this afternoon as well. So we're talking about some blowing and drifting snow, especially across the Northland. So be mindful of that. I'll have your extended outlook coming up again in a few minutes.
All right. Thanks, Justin. And like he said, those roads, they're slick out there.
So we want to take a live look at those conditions. Chase and Sam are both live with a look at the roads in Marathon County.
The snow hitting harder up north, so we want to throw it over to Sam, who's traveling that direction. What have you seen so far on the roads in Marathon County this morning?
Yeah, we just now made it to Merrill, and I can tell you the roads are absolutely treacherous on 51 just north of Wausau to the Merrill area. We've only been driving at about 25 miles per hour, and the snow is so cement-like that it's caked onto our headlights. So we are having a pretty difficult time seeing. We're going to get off the highway, get to a little bit of a safer location. And again, the plows, it doesn't really seem like they've made too many passes up here whatsoever. So it's extremely treacherous and difficult traveling conditions. I highly recommend, if you are especially north and west of the Wausau area, do not travel this morning. If you do have the ability to not travel, just wait till this afternoon to do any holiday travels. It will be a lot better by then, but right now it is extremely treacherous and dangerous, and we have seen multiple cars stuck on shoulders and ditches just because this snow is so cement-like. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, stay safe out there, and we want to emphasize she is not the one driving. But like she said, the roads are bad. Here's a look at a street light down over by the Quick Trip on Grand Avenue. A car is sliding into it overnight, and the roads haven't gotten any better this morning. Right now, News 9's Chase McNamara is live in Rib Mountain. Chase, you've been out there for a bit. Has traffic changed at all?
Top story today, severe weather hits hard in western Wisconsin. Multiple tornadoes confirmed by sheriff's departments, and we're looking at a time lapse of the severe weather moving through the Eau Claire area overnight. Now, several areas here in central Wisconsin were under a tornado watch until midnight. Good morning, I'm Nina Paholke.
And I'm Josh Gregory. We have team coverage tracking the latest. News 9's Chase McNamara is live in western Wisconsin, where the storm really hit hard. We'll check in with him in just a bit.
But first, let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Justin Lowe. Justin, most areas in central Wisconsin getting off pretty light last night.
But our top story this morning is the snowfall in parts of central Wisconsin. It's looking a little quiet right now, but some areas are expecting to see as much as 2 to 3 inches this morning. For most of our viewing area, this is the first big snowfall of the season.
And it's causing some slippery road conditions, so be careful on your morning commute. And right now, meteorologist Sam Kuffel is out in the elements with a look on the conditions outside.
But first, let's go to Chief Meteorologist Justin Lowe, who's tracking the latest. Justin, when can we expect things to clear up later today?
Sam, it's Friday. You know that means the weekend's coming, so people want their nice weather.
God, they always want the nice weather on the weekends, but it's not always going to work out that way. And we do have some wet weather moving into the area this morning, so let's get right to it here.
And it seems like the snow is here to stay. It's going to be around until probably spring, Justin.
I think so, yeah. I was mentioning that last week when we got the first 5 to 6 inches, and I thought, wow, this is pretty heavy snow, and then we're going to get more. I think it's going to stick around until spring.
And we've got about over a foot sitting on the ground right now.
Yeah, that's right, because we had 5.5 earlier last week and 7.8 over the weekend.
All right, thanks, Justin. But our coverage continues on that recent round of winter weather that we had. Right now, over 4,000 people are without power across the Badger State. News 9's Amanda Lejeski was out in the snow all day yesterday and caught up with WPS to see what they're doing to put the power back on. Happening today, holiday shopping continues, with online shopping now taking the stage, and analysts are predicting record-breaking sales. Cyber Monday deals are in full swing, with online retailers slashing prices. News 9's Chase McNamara is live in the newsroom with some of the best deals on the net. Good morning, Chase.
Morning, Josh. Black Friday may be over, and researchers say brick-and-mortar sales saw increased traffic over the weekend, and they expect the same for those opting to shop behind a keyboard.
Caught on camera, a New York man right here is rescued from these tracks just minutes before this subway train rolls up to the platform.
Help me, please. I don't want a job. Luckiest man I ever seen.
That's quite the understatement by the commuter who shot this cell phone video of transit workers helping to rescue the man. The platform was crowded during rush hour when the man's wheelchair rolled onto the tracks. The man who recorded this video says he was ready to jump onto the tracks to help the man.
The man was screaming out, "I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I see the lights. I see the lights." And everybody's like, "No, no, you're safe. You're safe. You're safe." So I didn't know if the train was going to move again or what was going to happen next. So I told the young man, "Come on, let's go down there and get him."
The man had a few bumps and bruises, but he is expected to be okay.
All right, see you in a bit, Justin. New on Wake Up, we're learning a wrongful death lawsuit has been filed against the Missouri man charged with killing 2 Wisconsin brothers.
Relatives of Nick and Justin Diemel filed the lawsuit late last month against Garland Nelson, his mother, and a cattle business. The lawsuit claims the cattle business shouldn't have partnered with Nelson after his convictions for cattle fraud. It also alleges Nelson planned to kill the Diemel brothers if they came to collect payment. Nick and Justin Diemel disappeared back in July during a business trip to Missouri. Their last known whereabouts were Nelson's farm. Justin, our coverage continues on a scary situation at another Wisconsin school.
2 times in just the last 2 days, police officers have shot students inside high schools. On Monday, a school resource officer shot a student inside Waukesha South High School. And yesterday in Oshkosh, there was a shooting inside West High School. Authorities say a 16-year-old boy was in the resource officer's office at West High when they got into a fight and the teen stabbed the officer. The officer then shooting the student. Both the student and officer were taken to the hospital, and both are expected to survive. West High School had to be locked down during the investigation.
And so I look out the window, and then I saw the whole school running, and then our teacher locked the door, and she made us stay in the class.
Shock, you know. You don't think it would happen here or to yours, but it's whenever you hear about it on the news, some other place, it's your worst fear that it could happen, and scary.
The State Department of Justice is taking over the investigation. No classes will be held in the Oshkosh School District today.
And we're learning more about Monday's shooting in Waukesha. Police say a 17-year-old student pointed a pellet gun at another student's head inside South High School. That's when a detective shot the teen once in the leg and twice in the arm. That 17-year-old is now in the hospital in stable condition. Investigators say the teen had a second pellet gun in his backpack. And new on Wake Up, we're hearing from police who say the teen brought the guns to school because he was angry.
He was angry.
Did he say that? How do you guys know that?
We had limited conversation with him in the ambulance.
Angry at students, angry at staff?
Angry at another student.
Once the teen is medically cleared, he will be transferred to the Waukesha County Jail, where he could face multiple felony charges. Turn to your screen, we're taking a live look at Capitol Hill, where in just a few hours, the House Judiciary Committee will hold its first hearing of the impeachment inquiry. Committee members are considering whether to recommend articles of impeachment against President Trump. Those lawmakers could use as a roadmap a report released yesterday by House Democrats, which lays out the case for impeachment. The report says the president endangered national security to benefit his reelection and obstructed the inquiry by telling witnesses to ignore subpoenas. The report does not recommend impeachment, but says it's up to Congress to make that decision. The White House says the inquiry is a one-sided sham process that did not find any evidence against the president. Yesterday, President Trump said he could direct top administration officials such as Mike Pompeo and Mick Mulvaney to testify in a possible Senate trial. He called the effort in the House unfair, but said it will be fair in the Senate. Republicans have the majority in that chamber.
Back in our area and also happening today, the Stevens Point Curling Club is making an announcement about a new home for the club. It plans to share the details of milestones reached to build a new facility.
The proposed new home for the club hopes to expand opportunities for members and the entire community.
So this morning, News 9's Chase McNamara is out live in Stevens Point ahead of the big announcement. Hey, Chase.
Hey, Nina. Hey, Josh. I'm live here at the Stevens Point Curling Club, and I'm joined here with club member Steve. Now, Steve is heavily involved in this project that's going to be announced today. Steve, can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek about this project that's going to be announced?
Absolutely. We're here at Stevens Point Curling Club. You can see it's a fairly small club. There's 2 sheets. So our plans are to build a new club in Plover to be 4 sheets, so it'll double our current capacity and the ability to go to 6 sheets. Within the requirement based on capacity of the club.
Very cool, very cool. And a big part about this, too, is to really expand and give more opportunities to the community, because at the current capacity, it's just not able to be done. Is that correct?
That's right. We've seen probably the last 2 or 3 years over 45% growth in our membership. So we're at the point where we have to limit the length of our games just to allow people to play. We've really worked hard at not denying membership or people to participate, but we just are overfull at this point and can't support what the community needs.
Well, I definitely think that this is going to be a huge boost to the community, especially to the youth and the youth involvement in curling and building that exposure and being able to kind of spread to schools, too.
That youth has been probably our biggest mission in our club. Over 50%, almost 50% of our ice time is devoted towards youth. That's the high school, the university, we have kids programs. And with 2 sheets, we can support 16 players at a time. So, for example, at a high school tournament, we can't support a junior varsity event. There's just not enough. And with 16 players at a time, kids lose interest. If they can't really be out there on the ice, they lose interest in the sport and the activity. So we really need to keep them engaged. And going to 4 sheets will really allow us to bring in a lot more youth programs.
Well, I'm really excited for everyone here, all the members and the entire community out here in Stevens Point and beyond. Now, I'll send it back to you guys and everybody. Actually, just to let you know, there is a formal announcement that will be made at 10 a.m. right here at the Curling Center. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks so much, Chase. And speaking of winter, Duluth is still trying to dig out of all that snow, and residents are getting frustrated.
We can't deal with it at all.
Trying to shovel, but we can't shovel the whole neighborhood street.
From what I could see is no preparation.
Almost 24 hours later, you'd think they'd be able to get residential roads.
The city hopes to be 50% done with plowing, but it's been a challenge. What city officials say they're discovering is that many people have driven vehicles or snowmobiles over unplowed roads, which has compacted the snow to the point that not all the equipment can remove it.
I'm kind of out of breath right now. It's hard to walk through. None of the vehicles are able to get through. On a more serious note, if there was ever an emergency vehicles would have a heck of a time getting through here.
Right now, city officials are asking people with plows or other removal gear to lend a helping hand. But in the meantime, several Duluth residents are still sitting and waiting. And with all the snow that we got this past weekend, Lambeau Field needs your help removing the snow.
Happening today, they're calling for volunteers to help prepare for Sunday's home win.
There you go.
Win?
Yeah.
According to the Packers official website, they're asking for as many as 600 shovelers to brave the elements. Each one of those shovelers will have a small part in that win.
There you go.
Now, shovelers need to be at least 18 years old, but will receive $12 an hour. And shoveling begins in just a few hours at 8 this morning, so you got to be up bright and early.
See, I can't tell if you're trying to jinx the Packers since you're a Browns fan or if you genuinely are hoping that we win.
I think you guys will win.
Oh, okay, cool. Sounds good. Well, 'tis the season of giving, and one way that you can give back in your community is by donating to Toys for Tots. News 9 is proud to sponsor with several Wagner Shell locations in Marathon County, as well as Precision Glass and Door in Portage County. You can drop off a new unwrapped toy at the locations listed on your screen, and that goes until December 12th.
Well, it's week 3 of high school football, but just the first week with students back in classes, so the excitement even higher this week. And right now we're checking back in with News 9's Alex Stewart, who's out hanging out with the Forest this morning. Hey, Alex.
Hey guys, what is up? I'm hanging out at DC Everest with the Forest, the baddest student section in all of Wisconsin. We've got the drumline and the band hanging out back here with me. Make some noise, band. I know you guys said you like the sound of the drum line, and that's just part of what makes the Forest so ferocious. I'm hanging out with 2 of the key members of, like I said, the baddest student section in all of Wisconsin, with the coolest name, I might add, the Forest. We've got Maddie Simpson, the soccer star here. She signed with Auburn, is that correct?
Yes.
But I'm guessing you probably don't want to talk too much about yourself right now. So why don't you tell me what makes the Forest so ferocious and such a wonderful student section?
Probably the participation and the turnout. When it's a lot more people showing up, I mean, we get a lot more hyped, so, but yeah.
So more people, the better?
Yes, definitely.
Now, what's a typical game look like when you're directing and getting everybody fired up?
Probably, we start out with the usual O's, and after that, everybody starts getting more and more, and every time someone else, like, participates, more people start participating, so...
Speaking of participation over here, my man, come over here. Take a look at this outfit from top to bottom. He is rocking it all the way through. Is this the type of thing that we like to see in the student section, the Forest?
I mean, especially with every kind of theme we want. We want people going out and just building that school spirit together. And I think the biggest thing is just like representing our school. And if we all want to have a plan to come out and make the plan well, and I don't know, it just makes us look good, makes us look better than the other schools that come.
I certainly think it gives them the edge, especially when they're dressed up like this. Student section Forest, show them why you are the best student section in the state. All right, guys, it's awesome. I love it here. Back to you.
They're definitely having a fun time there.
Before we get to weather, we want to announce the 3 winners of our pumpkin carving contest. As you can see, the force is strong with this one. Look at that. You got Yoda, Darth Vader, Luke with the scar on his face, and then Anakin.
Quite the artwork.
Yeah, pumpkin carving winner Justin Zastro is. That's my best Yoda. It's clear with these creations he channeled his inner Jedi, so congrats, Justin.
And our next winner is Eli Akey from Rib Mountain. Look at all these different gourds and props that he used to make his pumpkin. He's got some ears and even some hair. And if you see, you can't see it because of the graphic, but he's got like a potato in the mouth too. So definitely a lot of time that went into this one and thought. So congratulations to Eli.
And our final winner, Michelle Pekka of Anago and her family. She sent in this creative, wacky design, a spider. The jack-o'-lantern's scared of the spider's hair sticking up. Yeah. Well, all 3 winners, you receive a 4-pack of tickets to Sawmill Adventure Park, as well as 4 pairs of jump socks for the trampoline, of course, a pizza, and a pitcher of soda.
It's pretty nice to go to that trampoline park, get some work off those calories from all the candy they're going to be eating today.
If someone had told me I just won all of that, my hair would have done what that pumpkins did, just exploded everywhere.
Well, congratulations. We had so many. It was so tough to choose.
It was.
So many creative artists in the area. Thank you, everyone, for sending in the pictures.
We had a lot of fun looking at all of them.
Well,
it's the last Friday before Christmas, so we figured we would start your Friday off with some holiday cheer.
Sending you into the weekend smiling.
Yeah.
And from the words of Buddy the Elf, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. So let's check in with Justin, who's live in our lobby with the Merrill Choir this morning to do just that. Justin?
Yeah. That's right. I'm here with the Merrill Vocal Jays, right? And they're giving us a whole range of Christmas music this morning. I just wanted to find out from the choir how many people like the real classic Christmas tunes, the older tunes. Yeah, a few show of hands. How about the modern takes, some of the modern music? Yeah. Okay, well then, what's your favorite modern Christmas song?
Santa Tell Me by Ariana Grande.
There we go. Well, we're probably not going to hear that one today. But we've got another beautiful song here for you. Let's take it away. And doesn't that sound great? You want to stay tuned because we'll have more music coming up. Now back to Nina and Josh.
Goosebumps. That's what I got after listening to that.
What I have to say is if their voices were considered, if that was what Santa determined, naughty or nice, they'd be nice.
He would sing our way to the nice list.
Yes.
Well, the biggest Packers game of the year is just 2 days away, kind of 2.5 days away. It can't get here soon.
I know. Everybody's excited. As soon as the Seattle game was over, it was like on to the next one.
Yeah, let's get going. Yeah, it's, of course, the NFC Championship game against the 49ers on Sunday.
Yeah, some are busy, maybe, travel plans, preparing that.
Or watch parties.
Yeah, and they're planning for that. So as you noticed, Nina has left the desk, following her nose to Dave from Townline Market, who's outside our station grilling out. It's cold, so Nina has her Snuggie on. Look at her. She's blowing the steam from her breath. You can just tell how cold.